My name is Sarah. I'm going to read this poem by Erik. In just spring, when the world is mud luscious, and the little lame balloon man whistles far and wee, and eddied milk running from marbles and its piracies, and it's spring, when the world is how wonderful. The queer old balloon man whistles far and wee, and Betty and Isabel come dancing from hopscotch and jump rope, and it's spring. And the goat-footed balloon man whistles far and wee. As also wanting to read this other bit that's in your program. It's just so beautiful. And it's so perfect. The world is so empty if one thinks only of mountains, rivers, and cities. But to know someone who thinks and feels with us, and who, though distant, is close to us in spirit, this makes the earth for us an inhabited garden.
I'm Jennifer Estlin. When I was at Shaker, I was Jennifer Cohen. I have a memory of James Thornton. It's one of many, but it's one that I'm reminded of almost every day. I was a sophomore, and we were doing a patron mailing, and I volunteered to help. And I felt like I was really good at getting this mailing going because I could fold and get them in the envelope like the best of them. And Mr. Thornton put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Jennifer, wait." And he stopped me for a moment, and he took the envelope that I had folded, and he took the paper from inside of it and had me open it. He said, "Just open it." And I did. And I did that. And then I went and got it. And then he showed me a different way to fold paper. And it was like this. You fold the bottom up. And you don't just choose just anywhere to fold it up. You choose it so that the bottom edge lands right at the greeting, dear Shaker Theater patron, or whatever it was that you would first want that person to see. Put the insert in. And then fold up again, but not so that it's even with the top. You leave a little lip. And the purpose of the little lip was so that when you put it in the envelope, it's like a little invitation. It's a glimpse. So that when that person opens that envelope, they see that little lip. And they pull it from the envelope, and as they unfold it, the insert is suspended there. So that as they read it, they can remove it and experience the letter that you sent. Every time I send a letter. The next few years would be filled with so many. Such instances. Where we would be asked to look at our world in a different way. And for our years at Shaker, We were the living embodiment of the E. E. Cummings words. Now the ears of my ears are awake. Now the eyes of my eyes are open. As we were encouraged to consider how the most basic of our interactions, the simplest of gestures, the words we spoke, the things we saw and wrote and heard, could be enhanced and made more present and more elegant and more beautiful and more human, so that we in turn would be able to, as Oscar Wilde said, share with another a sense of what it is to be a human being. It was the same for all the years to come. Any time that I would be with James, it was why a 10-minute car trip could easily take half an hour, because there was that rolling landscape that he just had to point out, because it illustrated perfectly the movement of the song that we were working on. While I mourn the loss of our friend's vision and voice, I count myself so lucky to be one of among so many of us whose lives were affected and in many ways shaped by this man, this artist, this gentle soul, James Thornton.
Jennifer, I have to say that we still teach students how to fold the paper. Christine and I now. And, well, I want to thank Matt and Vince especially, and everyone who's spoken so far for helping me get my tears out of the way. And to connect this little alumni sharing into a circle, as Jamie was talking about. Jamie, I was just remembering how much trouble I had staying still on this stage too. Just it was so hard, and I just want to thank Vince for reminding us that it was James always liked to hang out with the wild kids, right from the start, and it wasn't always. It was different people who caught his attention over the years, and he talked to each person in their own, each individual way. When I graduated in 1998, I don't think I even said goodbye to JT. And I remember him in this parking lot over here, like jogging through the parking lot so that he could catch up with me and make sure to say goodbye. And he put his arm around my shoulder, and he had a copy of Four Quartets that he probably just smacked right onto my heart, and with his love and blessings written inside. And so he had a way of kind of keeping the doors open to alumni and to people, even when we didn't always. And I know I was guilty of that. And he always said that Shaker Theater was a circle and not a ladder. A ladder, you get to the top, and then what do? You just fall off or something like that. There was a kind of a circle that happened. And now today, just as I'm sitting here, I think, Pauline, it was you who probably, gave him Four Quartets and helped him find that so that he could pass it on to me. And I think that's often very true, that a lot of what he was giving to us as students, he had kind of gotten in one way or another from people in Kent and from the many people that came and students that came before him. He would kind of take that and then pass it on to the next generation. So I just wanted to read an email. He loved email. He loved when alumni would visit, when they would have epiphanies later, and he loved when they would email. And this is an email he wrote to me in my second year teaching ensemble here. It was right near the start of school, right in August. The subject line was first day of ensemble. Hey Erik, sorry not to return your call last night. We were out of town and did not get back till very late. We figured on a Sunday night we would be off to sleep. Just coming out of last week, obviously we did not get together for the croissant. We should get together soon though, to talk about how it might actually be of some benefit to you this year. It is actually probably a good thing that we did not talk earlier. We were probably too close to the whole picture to come up with sound long-range returns for us and for ensemble as well. I remember full well the sun-tanned bodies and spirits on their first day of return to the stage. I remember also the non-judgmental, open, and inclusive nature of that first day begin, even on the second day, to give way to self-consciousness, the everyday routine, and inevitable and somewhat swift fade in that tan. As if in that moment of return, they had found the Eden which would slip surely and steadily away. Perhaps that is what that day's chief value is to creation. In this first day of school state, what is there to want? Once experienced and inevitably lost, there is the potential to re-experience it with new perspective and possibility, to know as if for the first time this innocence. For this renewed innocence is not a state of being, but rather a stage of action. And this particular state, motivated by a desire, often unconscious, for return and rediscovery of what was always there, hidden only due to our own everyday experience or blindness, was also always there within grasp. This concept of return, therefore, becomes the central motivation for moving into the future, for seeking, and for understanding, and for renewed innocence. This unique, open, and elusive stage provides the passage. Okay. There's a paragraph I'm skipping. So there is something in everything. The concept of fading tans and first days is not purely cynical. Good luck with the days ahead, James. P.S. Too pressed to proofread. Be kind.